like, "Am I all right?" And I was like, "Oh, are you all right?" And, then she walked away, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, "All right, whatever." So that's what happened, Benjamin, and I'm sticking to it.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday night. We got a political ad before our show tonight.
See, can we get that?
I don't
Can
know
we be
about
a
that.
non-politically
We typically are.
associated show?
We are. We're non-political. Almost never. I mean, except for holidays,
Okay.
I guess. What's going on, everybody? We lost a couple people. We lost some good men already. The night is
them?
young. What's that?
They were on, and now we've lost them.
We've lost them, but they're coming back. I can see them coming back into the fold as we speak.
Okay.
On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. This is, thank God, it's Tuesday. He is Benjamin.
Yeah, I don't know, Benjamin. Are you chasing off viewers? I mean,
He is.
What the hell?
Get that microphone.
Or
up
is
in
it
there.
the fact that it's not Kevin, and people are like, "Oh, Kevin's not on," so I'm dumping this.
He's Tim Strachan.
Then I bet 5 more people just left. So
I don't think so. Not quite 5, but it's going to be.
good to be back with you again, and Benjamin.
Yeah, no Kevin Ricka. Happy anniversary after. By the way.
No, last week was anniversary. This week is the beach.
Yeah, it's kind of like an extended
I got to
anniversary.
revisit this as general counsel. The vacation policy. It's crazy.
Very liberal. Very liberal vacation policy. Every Tuesday's a vacation,
Very open,
really.
and free.
I've been getting PTO.
We should tell people we're not here next week, though.
No July 4th show. That's actually good. We almost never tell people anything a week in advance, except if when we're drafting cartoon villains or lunchbox snacks. Other than that, we haven't planned 7 days in advance in our entire lives. But we won't be here next week. It'll be July 4th holiday. That means no Kev in the basement for 3 weeks.
Kev and I could probably be here.
You can come.
And you would let us in, but
Yeah.
there's no way we would figure out how to hook anything up and get it.
I think the
on.
best show would be a hidden camera watching you guys try.
I mean, if we could hook things up, we would do it. But I don't know. You're not. You're only essential. You're only essential for actually making the hookup.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and can you imagine how stressed? Like if Kevin would give it one try, and he would be officially melting down. And it would just be a matter of like putting this wire to this one right here, and be like, nope, it's not happening. And you just start guzzling whiskey. But we do miss you, Kev. We have you back here on July 4th +2 +7, whatever that is.
I don't do math.
Yeah, that's all right. Benjamin's on. He's our mathematician.
We do have to do some math tonight.
We got some math coming. So it's a celebration.
It's easy.
It is a celebration. There's some naysayers out there, some naysayers on this board tonight.
Naysayers.
Oh, yeah.
About what?
Who have the entire time been suggesting that this was never going to happen, that the Commanders organization was going to flub the
Prior
biggest...
to it happening, they were naysayers.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were saying they were naysayers now that he has been signed.
No.
Okay, because that's
there's no.
that would be ridiculous.
Zero naysaying. And also, it's probably one of the smartest organizational decisions that Tanya Snyder has made. From a roster.
One of the smartest decisions they've ever made is a decision everybody knew they should have made.
That Tanya made. That technically Dan had nothing to do with. That's right.
No, this is one of the more right decisions they've made. Let's not call it a smart one because
Our wide receiver one, a legitimate wide receiver one,
it had to be done.
not a guy who we plugged into wide receiver one who wasn't
Today's
really a wide
game,
receiver
this
one.
had to be done.
Oh, you draft a guy, you develop him, you know exactly who he is, you find out all about him, the league knows all about him, the market gets set on his value, you pay it. And the beauty of this deal, I believe this is right, it's 3 additional years, right? So they still have him for this year and then 3 additional years. So we got him for 4 years. I mean, what is
it goes to?
Through the 25 season.
Right.
So 22, 23, 24, 25
Right.
seasons. That's 4 seasons, $71 million of new money, $23 million, 23 point something annual average, which is it's the market right now. It sounds like a lot, but again, in
Well,
3
no,
years,
to
it won't
Kevin.
be
So
anything.
Kevin's Raymond's, corner. He had what was it, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. All of this was right. 75% guaranteed. We didn't
It
know if it
wasn't
was going to
75%
be.
guaranteed.
Yeah, it was. 75% of it is guaranteed.
Of the new money.
Yes,
Okay.
including signing bonus, all that. But that I remember Kevin saying that. It's in his notes. I'm sure if we had them, we could find them. He was right. All of it was right. He didn't deserve the most because he's not within an organization or done anything to deserve that yet. But he's obviously one of the best in the league.
He's top 5
and
paid in the
it
league
was
at the position.
the right decision to give him something that is comparable to the top last six signings that have happened. He's right there in the mix.
So $28 million signing bonus, right? $53 million in total guarantees. So a little less than 75, but
What does the guarantee say there?
50,
71.
like 53 out of 71. Just saying. That's okay. That's all right.
Because the 71 is guaranteed.
It's more than I thought it was. I thought he was getting basically half. They were going to give him half of whatever they offered him guaranteed. It's clearly more. $71 million of new money. Average annual value puts him at 5th highest paid wide receiver in the league, which I have zero problem with because my two biggest things as a fan, a sports fan in general, I don't want my team making someone the highest paid player ever. I don't want my team making someone the highest paid player at their position, unless we get that guy, which we don't have that guy in terms of like a Brett Favre or a Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. All I'm saying is he deserved the market value of a contract for us to keep him, and in 2 or 3 years, that annual average value for a wide receiver is going to be so much higher. He's going to be out of the top 10 quickly, and in a hurry, because this whole new deal with wide receivers getting top dollar is not going anywhere, and it's only going to get more pronounced. And I think it's going to usher in this era of like interesting decision making. From a roster perspective, we've always had high paid wide receivers. That's not a new thing, but in a passing league,
right now it's out of control.
Well,
but
I think it's right sizing the value.
Every team that's making it to the playoffs and going through it, yes, they have a quarterback, but they also have a wide receiver that is
But now
at
you
the
have to have
top of
more
the
than
game
one.
as well.
You got to have like at least 2, which that is not even close to something we've enjoyed for quite some time. In terms of top talent at the first 2 positions. So wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. So first opportunity. The other big kind of roster news, and I want to say it was Greg who brought it to my attention, that we have rebuffed overtures for someone who wants to trade for Daron Payne, which I find fascinating because I would love to be like just strong in the middle of the defensive line forever, and for the next 3 or 4 years at least, and we could be that. It's going to cost us a lot of money to try it. But what are they really just saying? They'll just take him for every second we have him?
I think the reality is, and it's been signaled from the organization that keeping all 4 of those guys right now is impossible. It's just not. It's not doable.
But we're keeping them together this year.
Yep.
Which is interesting to me because you still have the other 3, and you have Allen.
As far as we know, I mean, Daron could be the guy that goes.
They offered a deal for Daron Payne, apparently, and we have rebuffed trade offers for Payne at this point in time. So that tells me that they're not interested in necessarily traditionally rebuilding. A lot of teams would make the choice, if you're not going to have a guy in 1 year away, to get that draft pick or 2 draft picks for Daron Payne. I don't know. I think he's a first-round pick, trade candidate. I mean, people are going to trade first or second-round pick for Daron Payne. They just are. Everyone knows who he is, and if you're going to add him to your roster, you want to re-sign him and keep him there for 5 years. But keeping him for 1 more year and letting him go after 1 year, like the Bryce Harper way, just letting a guy go and not getting anything for him as he goes and signs a huge deal with someone else, that's a gamble too. But that's like an investment in this season, which is I find interesting that we're investing so heavily necessarily, in this exact season.
Yeah. That does miff you if they just try to get whatever they can out of the contract and let him go. Because I don't think there's any chance he comes back here. That's four alphas that just don't. We kind of saw the dust up on. I know people don't want to make too big of a deal of that, but that was real. And that's not the first time that happens.
I'm not
But if four alpha dogs like that are at the top of their game and paying them all and keeping them all happy, that's not easy to do.
Nope.
When you also got wide receivers who want their money, DBs who want their money,
Yeah.
quarterbacks that want their money,
Everyone.
It's not practical. It's not practical.
So here's my question to you and to the board, or the topic is, we've been conditioned over time, to think of things, to start we're trying to look more than just a year away, more than 1 or 2 years away. We're like, okay, we're clearly at rock bottom. So how do we get to like another 2 or 3 levels away from here? And then every time the elevator just like found another floor, to go to. But at some point, maybe I just don't know when it is anymore, you have to be like, well, we got a pretty competitive roster, and we are capable of winning games and making a push for the playoffs with this team. So keeping a Deron Payne for this year.
You do get the compensatory still, right?
You do get the compensatory.
So there's like you don't get nothing.
See, look at you. You're already giving me the silver lining.
But it's not that you're not. It's unlike the Harper situation because you get something.
You get they have
and those
they have a similar
compensatory
deal.
picks are turning out to be pretty valuable to everybody.
That's right, and so.
Because you have more control.
So that someone offers us
you
better.
have more control over that a little bit more than necessarily are you getting a better deal of a trade? And
he's going to get first round. He's going to get. I keep saying first round. He's going to get top of the market, whatever the market is on a starting plug and play defensive tackle in the offseason, which is typically a lot of money. He hasn't been a problem child, despite the dust up, pun intended.
I didn't mean to bring that up to say.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying he is going to be a coveted free agent asset in the offseason for all the reasons that are just obvious to see. So he's going to get a decent amount of money from somebody. That's going to translate, I believe, into a third-round pick in the compensatory picks for us. Worst case scenario, fourth round. So if no one's coming at us offering us at least a second, then I'm kind of coming around to the side of I'd rather have him for 17 games. We're way better with him. Our defensive line with him is, well, in theory, very good. Mm-hmm. So give me my third round compensatory pick and a year of Deron Payne. But there is a risk there, right? Because what if someone offers you a first round pick? I don't know. You're giving up something. Obviously, you're giving up a year with a proven veteran defensive lineman. As important as wide receivers are and quarterbacks and running backs and all that stuff, like those guys sort of the Kool-Aid, in the NFL. Big, strong, gigantic, middle of the field guys.
It's like with Sweat on one side and Chase on the other. And then Jonathan's already done, so he's out of the equation. And you put Deron next to those two. What are you least worried about jeopardizing amongst those three? It's Deron.
I'm distracted. I haven't seen this before. Maybe I just missed it, but we have a cheaper sex online dating app infiltrator got onto our comment board. They got weeded out pretty quickly, but telling people to delete Tinder. Yeah, of course. The people on our board. They're not going to let that slide. Obviously, they're going to have comments.
They kicked them out.
Well, no. I mean, they got. I don't know how they got through all the algorithms. There's a lot of algorithms out there. I don't know how we get through the algorithms, if we're being honest. But they infiltrated and put out some advertisements. I know everyone, and they got everyone thinking. They got these people thinking. They're like, first of all, it says delete Tinder. We have sex cheaper, which begs the question: Tinder isn't you're not paying. To my knowledge, you're not paying when you're on Tinder. You're just trying to get dates, right? That's just
Free.
getting dates.
I mean, I'm
This is
Wilford.
why we have Benjamin on the show
I'm
tonight.
Wilford Brimley, dude. You're asking me about
Oh,
fucking
that's
how do
true.
you use
I don't.
Tinder?
I thought the whole idea of
I don't know if
dating
I've
apps
ever
was-
even seen the interface for a Tinder.
I'm not even on Facebook, so I don't know.
I don't have a
anything.
Facebook account either.
By the way, someone here
Benjamin
does.
has a Facebook page.
Never lets me
But-
forget about it ever. He just talks about it constantly. He's always catching up with his friends. So all right. So we're gonna have Terry McLaurin, a happy Terry McLaurin, and it looks like a season of Deron Payne. And I keep saying I'm gonna say his name differently every single time I see it and say it.
Yeah. You saying it differently than me?
No, I don't think so.
Bring it on, man. That's
right.
good news. That's about as good news as we could have in the
24-hour
third week
span?
of June of this point in the calendar year to have that kind of news. To know that now Terry and Carson can try and get on the same page and have a little bit of time to work together and work things out. This is huge, man.
remember-
This is great.
This is Ron Rivera's third date, third year. Everyone knows what happens on the third date. Apparently, everyone
It's
knows
supposed
what
to
happens.
all come together.
You know what? We need that guy back. Tell us what happens on the third date. If you're telling people how to delete Tinder and doing all this stuff, maybe they can help us out. But the third date, this is it. This is the big one. And I want all my players, as many good players as I can have for this year. So we're going to need them. Man, we're going to need them. We're going to need everybody who, I mean, it all comes just to tighten the
If
loose.
we
Now, it all
need-
comes down to
if we-
Carson Wentz playing as good as he's capable of
To
playing.
get to that 12-5 that we decided and both agreed was going to be our record at the end of the season.
Was that 12-5?
I was at 12-5. You were not. I was at 12-5.
I got to 11-6.
In order to get to 12-5, they're going to need it. They're going to need every single bit of it. They're going to need some things that go their way, which I don't really feel like we've had that feeling around here in a long time.
No.
Certainly not probably since 2012. Am I right?
2012. 2012 was fun.
Did you ever have that feeling when Kirk was at the helm?
That we were going to go 10
Yeah,
and 6
that there was something special was going to possibly happen?
because
No.
of Kirk.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I'm picking him out as that era. When was the last time you really felt good, like, about a team? Like,
I mean,
and when we
geez,
need
dude.
a break, we're going to have it.
When's the last time
We're
you
gonna
felt
go our
good?
way. 2012.
This show took a turn. I feel like I'm laying on
I'm
the couch
saying
in front of
now
you.
we have finally maybe the pieces in place to have a team that
Yeah.
you're not that worried about a third and 8 or more. This is actually something we can do. I'm talking. When was the last time you had that feeling about a team? You had it for a brief moment in that stretch of four wins
Bishop
last year.
McNamara's 1991 team.
No, last year. Last year we
year.
had that brief feeling of, you know what, these guys. That's when they were doing the, dinking and dunking and moving the chains, and it worked for a
Heineke.
while. But
Well, we got it when we were getting it done the best way 2 years ago. It was because of what we were doing on defense. So
Pieces
that's
are
the
falling
reason why I
into
got
place.
Duran. That's why we need those guys in the
not
middle.
Darren.
I know.
so pieces are falling into place. On paper, we all feel pretty good about what we look like and how it could go. Now they got to go prove it, man.
All the people to bring the Mary Jo White stuff under the fold. Greg Martin.
He hates it the worst.
I know.
Than anybody.
I know. Well, he's
He wants that taste of it.
He's giving
he's
Ron-
that guy
he
that says,
says-
no, guys, I don't want to talk about it.
He says Ron Rivera is the
Talk
thing
more.
holding it all together
Say
and the
more.
rug that all the dirt is being swept under. There's a lot of dirt. That's a
You
big
know what?
rug.
I'm hearing that more and more from people that are starting to think none of this is going to amount to anything. And I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
wrong.
Well, like Kevin's been telling us the whole time.
I think they're wrong. I think you don't have this many things constant. It's not going to go away until something happens.
I am
Something's going to happen.
pretty sure it's going to happen, but I don't think it's happening in the time that I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen it happen this offseason.
You're backing off?
I'm not. I mean, it was always mostly a hope, but predicated on like how could this possibly end a different way in a world that has consequences for actions. But I do think the way that he's Heismaning the select committee or the oversight committee is unbelievable. I mean, that's obviously not going to last forever.
Look,
they did subpoena him.
So the way that's working, this is more my sort of world of understanding. The way that's working right now, they can subpoena
oversight committee subpoena
well,
power.
No, but okay, not to you, but they could do it. People are probably saying, but why? And the reason they're not doing it is because this was really just supposed to be more about grandstanding as it is. You don't want to use your subpoena power on something
they're using it. They delivered a subpoena to him.
So they did it today.
They delivered it. So what happened was Snyder's lawyer was the receiver of the subpoena from the oversight committee, and his lawyer declined to accept the subpoena, which is unbelievable. It's like a Seinfeld episode.
Did he run away?
It's like, wait.
Was there a chase?
If I don't accept the delivery
was there a
of
chase?
the subpoena,
did anybody get this on
did
phone?
I get subpoenaed?
Did you get this on phone?
I mean, there was a chase. So it is, and also, so they did subpoena him officially. His lawyer said, "I don't accept the delivery of the subpoena." So I don't even know if technically he's been actively subpoenaed. But on the backside of that, the date that they gave him.
Can we get the lawyer on the 53-man roster? Because that guy can.
He is untouchable.
If he's that
return
untouchable,
punts, return kicks and punts.
Holy crap!
No one will touch him. It'll be a touchdown after. You know what?
That's a freaking brilliant idea.
I would load up everyone on defense.
Snyder's lawyer as the punt return. No one will come.
Nobody will touch him. So listen to this, T. This is entertaining. Then
he doesn't even have to wear a uniform. He can wear a suit.
Snyder said, "This time I can't be there for this particular meeting because my lawyer is out of the country." Now, famously, 2 weeks ago, Snyder couldn't make the last one because he was out of the country, and he was. This time, he can't make it because his lawyer's out of the country, and the Congress is like, "Oh my God, we like literally talk to everybody on the planet at all times. You know, remotely. We can question Dan Snyder about all this crap wherever he is on the planet."
Goodell did it remotely.
Oh yes, of course
he had shorts on underneath that desk.
Of course he did. It's a game. It's a game now, and Snyder's playing a heck of a game again. Snyder. It should be Snyder and his lawyer back both ways. Punt to one of them. No, and in fact, that really is the answer. Snyder should actually be the punt returner because it's a win-win situation for us. He hasn't ever been sacked or tackled in his life
like that, man.
Or he dies on the field of play. Maybe like Lucas style. Maybe he just gets seriously injured and is hospitalized, like Corey Haim. Y'all know the story.
Dan, if you return this punt for a touchdown, you keep the team. If you don't,
One thing I never understood about the Lucas thing is he put a pair of shoulder pads and a helmet that didn't fit him, and he went onto the field. But like that's it. And he was like half the size of everybody else. Like just shoulder pads and a helmet. That's it. That's all.
Love does crazy things to you, man.
He's not icebox for little giants. He needed a lot more help than that.
Love does crazy things.
Oh, so. All right, so there you go. There's your Mary Jo White Club update. No idea when it's going to happen, but there's no way it can't happen. And all the talk about and Goodell kind of brought it on himself when he was like, "I don't have the power to knock this guy out," but he kind of does because he can suggest it. So like he he's the one who delivers it to the executive committee of the NFL owners. It's completely stupid that we actually know all this stuff, and then they vote, and then it has to go to the league for a 24 minimum vote to force him to sell. All that is like it's like the freaking Knights Templar. Like it's been written down forever. That's how it works.
What happens?
Yeah,
the investigation's still going on. We don't know any of the details. There could be some bombshells. If there are,
can I ask you this, T?
Then this is a real talk. If there's not, then you know what? Kevin and these people might be right. He will once again just slime right through this.
Or Tanya will be the owner forever.
And
the owner forever.
Slip right onto that yacht and then mosey on down the river to the new stadium right by his house in Virginia.
The thing about we
so
live in a world
slimy.
where like bombshells, there's no bombshells anymore. Like it's just something crazy that happened today. And then tomorrow they're like, when's the next, like it's always the next bombshell. It's never the last bombshell. Because to me, like the story that came out this week about his sexual assault or harassment of allegation. Yeah, when he like asked, allegedly, reportedly, asked for sex, tried to take her clothes off, tried to get her alone, tried to corner her, groped, all that stuff. All that stuff was like in the report. And they paid her $1.6 million.
Was he doing all of this on a step stool? I need to know.
This guy got back. The cheap sex guy is back.
What the hell? It's Snyder. He's behind it. He heard us talking, and he said to his cyber buddy,
"Yeah,
go take these guys down." It's all him.
All right, so I don't know, guys. I don't know. We're also putting the user in timeout. The guy's in timeout. So I would have thought that all that, then you pay the person $1.6 million. I would think that all of that stuff would be enough.
Bad enough?
Bad enough. I thought that making a video of the cheerleaders for yourself, set to whatever music. I don't ever want to know what he set that music to. I don't want to know because it'll ruin some songs for me. All the stuff that they did with
the calendar shoots and the
calendar shoots.
I mean,
there's just so much.
And there's we already know all of this, and there's an investigation trying to find out if he's done anything. We already know all this bad crap has happened.
It's going to be just weird. It is weird. I thought the best line was a headline in the Washington Post, and I wish I could remember the name of the author, but it was, when all this stuff is said and done, there'll be more said than done. Which I think is like fitting. I think you could probably say that about a lot of stuff, but that's kind of the way it's starting to look, and it's kind of terrible for a variety of reasons. And I'm also like super intrigued by this Tanya Snyder thing, right? So Goodell really like played up the Tanya's in charge aspect of everything, which we always laughed at. Like, pretty sure he's still in charge, like or he, she goes to the meetings, but. If we're clear, he can go to the meetings anyways. He sent Bruce Allen to the meetings.
Thing in her ear.
Yeah, he sent Vinny Serrato, Bruce Allen, all those people. They went to the meetings. Dan Snyder didn't want. He didn't want to deal with that crap. He never did. They didn't like him, and he didn't like them. It was a miserable experience for him. All he wanted to do was juggle Jerry's nuts and get out of town, and that's all that happened.
Did he do it with both hands or one hand?
That's probably one hand juggle.
Really? He's got small hands.
Yeah, well, it was working like a speed bag.
Interesting.
But that's all. That's pretty much all that I'm aware of happened at these meetings.
A lot.
Listen, that's all I'm aware of. My notes are a little sketchy on that one, but
Mary Jo, call Ken tomorrow.
Yes,
put him on your list.
So I don't know. I think it's fascinating to talk. It's a topic that won't go away, and we're not keeping it alive. Like these were headlines on ESPN today.
Discuss it.
Today. They were the headlines today.
There's nothing else really going on other than Terry McLaurin.
No, Terry McLaurin became the number one headline on ESPN and CBS Sports. Both of those sites had the Commanders McLaurin deal at the top. It's a big deal. I think Manner of Speaking, by the way, good evening, Manner of Speaking, and AGH and Robert Cohen, all you guys, the EO, Rhett, J-Dubs. I think we saw some other folks up there too. But it is top of market. I mean, it's not the highest, but you think there's 32 teams, 2 or 3 receivers per team. So 90 receivers, of which 25 to 30 are tops.
Deal on both ends.
He's top 5.
It's a reasonable deal on both ends.
He gets it done.
He could have maybe gone to a situation that was dire where they would have thrown a whole lot more money at him and he would have been fat and happy in the pockets. But maybe a part of this deal shows that he's committed here too, which would be great.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, he is. I mean, it puts him through his age 30 season. And so that's kind of that's the bulk of an offensive skill player's career. For the most part, it's well beyond the average age of a offensive skill player, career between running backs, wide receivers, and quarterbacks. Quarterbacks obviously stretch that out, and there's 3 or 4 wide receivers per team that make the field, so that also can stretch it out. But long story short, if he makes it through age 30 without being injured, materially, he's in line to put his name in the franchise record books, obviously, from both yardage and a catch situation. And some quarterback is going to, oh my goodness gracious.
We've had some really good ones.
Oh my goodness gracious, we are getting bombarded by naked HD XYX. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Guys, hey, listen. What can I say? I'm blushing. My cheeks are red. I don't understand what's going on here, but
I can't. I need my glasses. What are you looking at?
it's just some commenter that got through, and it's trying to. I don't even know what .xyz is. I didn't even know .xyz was a site extension. I never even heard of that before.
It's not. They just want you to click on it, and then they hack into your computer, and then they take all your
Oh, they take all your stuff.
information.
Oh yes. Okay.
This is a YouTube problem. AGH found out what's going on.
Sorry, I don't even know if people can see this guy's comments around because I put the hide users comments on the thing. But if I've learned anything about the modern digital age, it's that if I just me versus some hacker in China trying to sell sex sites,
you'll lose.
Pretty sure I'm getting trucked in that scenario, big time. So I can push a button all day long. I have no idea what effect.
Very interesting choice of words.
Yes. So, but the thing is. The thing about Snyder that was another headline this week, which again, people think we're keeping Snyder in headlines. We're not. Like McLaurin kicked him off the headlines today, but the World Cup stuff. I don't know if you're following it. The United States is hosting the World Cup. They're picking North American cities for cities to play. Obviously, the last time America was part of a hosting situation, '94.
It was
We had games at RFK. RFK was well into past its useful years.
Declining.
Yeah, it was declining, yes. But it was still an awesome place.
Was that pre or post Nats at?
Oh, way pre, '94.
Oh, 94. Yeah.
That was Tony Miola, I believe. That was his. He was our goalie. He tried out for the Jets. The teams in that and RFK hosted a group. So a group has 4 teams. I want to say it hosted Mexico, the Netherlands, Nigeria, and Saudi Arabia.
Ding, ding, ding. Good job.
That was the 4?
Yep.
You know that? You have no idea.
No idea.
But
that's what
this time around,
the board to look it up.
Over 100 years, the host country, capital of host country, always hosts, if not the final, some big time games. And so the World Cup, the soccer people, they all come and they scope it out. And they did a whole thing at FedEx.
Only soccer people do it?
It's soccer people.
Okay.
FIFA and the World Cup committee. They came to FedEx. And they tried first they tried to convince them that the railings will hold, right? Because we dumped some Eagles fans in the corner of the end zone because the railings didn't hold. I'm not sure if you watched any international soccer games in the last 50 years, but those fans are crazy.
Trucked.
Those fans are those fans are knocking down some railings. If those railings can be knocked down, they're getting knocked down. Secondly, they had to prove, if you recall, during a home game last year, the sewage pipe that busted open, which they swore wasn't sewage, but the FIFA people were like, "What happened there?" The turf, they were basically like, "Why would we let the world's best soccer players, who are getting paid tens and tens of millions of dollars a year to play for their clubs, and they're playing for the best countries in the world, why would we let them play on your dirtbag FedEx field, where we know people get injured?" So we're not hosting. No game in Washington, no game at FedEx, none, zero. Not any part of the World Cup is coming here. And it is a Dan Snyder F up to the highest degree. Like that is yet more evidence of his, when he touches something, it just turns to poop. I mean, unbelievable that happened. Again, over 100 years, the host country's capital city gets some action. We get nothing. Nothing.
We get trucked.
We get nothing. Daniel Tosh. Soccer's only fun when the stands collapse and half of Europe dies.
Whoa.
That's Daniel. That's
it was
Daniel
funny
Tosh.
until people died.
That's Daniel Tosh's comedy. First of all, I love Daniel Tosh when he first came out. When his stand-up.
He's mostly great. He does step over the line.
He's mostly great, but I thought his best stuff was right away. First couple years of his stand-up, when he started doing Tosh.0, obviously I was in, but it became more of like a shock value type thing, and I'm like, all right, dude.
He doesn't do it all the time. He's not shock like all the time. He's not like the Jackass, movies or something. But it's
I wonder if that should be a draft topic. All-time comedians.
Ooh, of course
I'm writing it down. We're gonna write. Man, I'm gonna
stand-up comedians.
I think we have to think. We're wrapping things up here, guys.
You could do comedian, or you could do shows.
If anyone has a quick draft idea for a quick one to close things out, I would be very, very interested. But all-time comedians. So here's the thing:
we could have a much
do they have to have performed stand-up? They have to have performed stand-up.
I'd say
They could be an actor, they could be this or that, but they have to have been on stage performing stand-up comedy.
Correct.
Okay.
It is mainly for their stand-up comic ability.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, but I think you could probably. I mean, I'm trying to think of examples now where that you would say they were
very little. Most
better.
of them have done stand-up at some point. I mean, a lot of them.
Yeah, but like Bill Murray, I don't think he was a stand-up. Just an all-time great comedic actor. One of my heroes.
Bill Murray.
Do stand-up? No, he was part of an improv group. I think it was part of Second City in Chicago. And then in Saturday Night Live.
Improv counts.
Improv counts. All right. I'm going to put improv counts. I just gave you one of my fifth-round picks.
I would say like Saturday Night Live counts.
I would have to agree with you. We're coming up with some serious
you can't
parameters.
Like, Leslie Nielsen? No.
Yeah.
He's straight actor.
Yeah, comedic actor. All-time great comedic actor. Who's not a stand-up.
No.
There's plenty of those.
Okay.
But we want guys who are on stage.
We'll work out the kinks.
Bill Hicks, #1 pick, AGH. Greg, you got to go stand-up. He says improv, not stand-up. No, you have to.
Where does Benny Hill stand on your list there, AGH?
Benny, seriously, you guys can have a side conversation about this. Oh my god!
It's the only way you saw boobs on TV in the '80s, man. Are you kidding? On the little
'80s?
In the '80s.
I thought that wasn't Benny Hill like '60s, '70s.
The reruns in the '80s. The reruns. on your when you put it on 50 and you had to like kind of play with the other decimal dial to get enough to see the girls,
machine gun style.
The two girls in the end of the line that were always topless running through. That's what you had to do in 81, 2, 3, 4, 5.
AGH is saying he was before AGH's time in the '70s.
He was before all our time. AGH.
All time worst people ever. That can't be a topic. AGH. All time worst people ever. I don't even want to have that draft. I'm writing it down against my better judgment.
No.
I'm gonna make a mental note.
That's morbid.
It is all-time worst people ever. Because so many people you would leave off the list. People were like,
"Do you go worse than Hitler?" I mean,
you didn't say. No, of course not. He's Mel Kiper's best available right now. It was like Mel Kiper's best available all-time worst people. It was like Hitler's just in the green room, but like, getting a call. He knows he's going.
I don't want to dig deeper than that.
No. I hope we're not picking first.
No. Let's do like greatest person ever. That would be a lot better. It'd be hard, but
my dad. Oh.
Yeah, but my dad.
I would no.
All right, I get fine. The first one. Your dad versus my dad to the end.
Done.
My dad.
All right, so we have no delay anymore.
Two dads enter.
Delay.
One dad leaves. Maybe that's why they were able to infiltrate. Maybe that's how they were able to infiltrate our board with the sexy
all the dad talk. We broke the algorithm.
XYZ got in.
I have so many.
We have no delay here.
Archives over here, but I do have some good potential ideas for. Yeah, Greg is like, Hitler's in the green room is an all-time out of context phrase. Like, please don't record anything I said about Hitler and put it by itself. I'm begging you.
That would be messed up.
God, that would be messed up. I feel like if I knew how to do a Stewie voice from Family Guy, I'd be like, yeah, but could you imagine? I couldn't. I'm not going to.
Cool Whip.
Worst
Cool
person.
Whip.
NES Tecmo finally rings in, and he gets a worst person JDR. I'm not gonna try to guess. I'm pretty sure. I don't know JDR. I don't know what JDR is.
Are people actually throwing out their worst people?
Well, we did talk about Hitler being in the green room, getting a call.
All right, I nominate AGH for nominating this as a topic.
JDR. Why am I blanking on? What do I not want to know who that is? I don't know who that is off the top of my head, and I'm usually good like 3-letter clues. JDR, worst person ever. It's not John Riggins, obviously. We're gonna figure this out. We're going to figure it out. Now, T, how good would you feel about closing out the show with a 2-round draft? Oh, Jack Del Rio. Yeah, he's kind of a douchebag, but mostly because he can't coach. Because our defense is stunk. Let me ask you that. Douchebag's a little bit of. He's not a douchebag because our defense stunk. He's just a douchebag because he was trying to distract from the fact that the best part of our team last year. It's like the way people feel about Paul Richardson. I feel like, or like on the board, they call people were like call Paul Richardson a bad name. He's not a bad. We don't know the guy. We don't know Jack Del Rio. I don't know Paul Richardson. Paul Richardson got hurt. Our defense stunk last year. These are things that are totally out of our control that we have nothing to do with, and we ended up blaming people for things. Again, we don't know these people, but all I really want is to, when we have our best conversations about our defense, it's all about 2 old school linebackers in Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, thinking up ways to help to put guys in positions to be badasses, and we have the horses. We have the horses. So
we do. There was some talk on social media this past week too about Warren Sapp. Why was he there? Why has he been around? There's a guy that's been there, done that. It's got some connections. I think there's a program too where these guys are part of, where they go to different places to help out and just I think help grow the game to the younger guys that are playing the game now. So I think some.
Real fast?
Yeah.
I don't think Jack Del Rio is a douchebag.
No.
My initial thought was, God, our defense was bad out of the gate last year. And literally, I had stood on a table and told everyone how awesome we were going to be.
Here's the thing. It improved. Ron Rivera said these guys aren't actually playing it the way that we need them to play it.
Yeah.
He said they weren't playing together.
Yep.
Maybe bringing a guy like Warren Sapp, seeing that kind of talent and saying, guys, listen, it's not about you. It's about all of you.
Yep.
Maybe that's what he was doing here. Maybe, they know that, and they're trying to find a way, because there was a really, really slow start defensively. I think everybody was very underwhelmed with the way that this defense started the season last season. And then with Chase and them gone, some guys having to step in and play, that defense actually started playing pretty well, because I think it was – and we talked about this. The guys that stepped up and started playing and because of injuries and stuff, started playing the system, I think the way they were being taught to play it, was damn effective. So let's get Chase back. Let's get Sweat back. Let's get Duron back and Jonathan back and everybody on the same page and playing the way that they're supposed to with the talent that they have. Put your egos aside. Play like a team. Maybe that's what's going to turn this around and they get a hot start in the beginning.
First-round middle linebacker who hasn't busted out of this league by any stretch of the imagination in Jamin Davis. Wherever he's going to start for us, he's going to be a year in. I mean, obviously, he wasn't Micah Parsons, and he's not considered one of the top 5 running linebackers in the league. But Jamin Davis is not done making his mark on this roster. I hope I'll be saying the same thing in a year from now. I understand people want more out of a pick that high in the first round in his first year, but hey, listen, we underperformed all over the place, and it wasn't just him. But he makes a leap in the middle of the defense, where that's the level that has been our worst level for quite some time, and not deep at that. So if he can put something together in year 2 behind that defensive line, because that's the other thing, the best linebackers, they can get it done with 1 or 2 good defensive linemen. I mean, we have 4. So
yeah, but if you got 4 guys that are trying to get if you got 4 guys that are trying to get their stats on every single play, that's not helping a guy like Jamin Davis. No. All right? I think there may have been some of that happening at the beginning of the year last year. I'm not wanting to point fingers or anything like that, but I'm just saying maybe they're learning a different way. Even as talented as they are, they have to also put their egos aside, which is, again, why you can't keep all four of those guys up front in a business like this. Because you may be a better team by taking a Deron Payne out of that equation and putting a guy in who's hungry and has to prove himself to those other guys on the line beside him and does his job the way he's supposed to do it, selfishly or unselfishly, to help the team. Maybe that's what this team may need in terms of, do we or do we not keep Deron Payne? Or how do we keep this intact as best we can and make ourselves a better team?
There's a discussion on the board right now about a most iconic DC sports figure. So we have done this one. It's been a couple years, because that's one thing. Obviously, that's an obvious sports talk segment. But yeah, we haven't done the draft of them yet. So we have to. The question is it just players for the 4 pro teams? Is it also the Terps and local colleges? Is it also anyone who's from the area? So I think that's a big thing.
Broadcasters?
Yeah, I would say
coaches?
I would say it's players and coaches from the 4 pros, as to keep it. There's a huge pool there, because if we start going from the DC area, we'll lose some people, because we're going to talk about Moten. We're going to talk about, obviously, Durant was mentioned already on the board, but we're going to talk about some. So we're going to go deep high school wise, as we should.
We will work those. We'll work those out as well.
Jakia Brown-Turner. Excellent girls basketball player, currently at NC State. Sugar Ray, obviously.
We see the best. We see the best basketball in this area. It's girls and boys.
What's that?
We see the best basketball in this area.
The absolute best, number
Girls
one, best
and
players
boys.
in the country come right out of here. All right, so T, what about a 2-round draft of all-time greatest?
I thought we were doing worst owners.
No. Worst owners? Come on,
instead of
that's
worst
not fun.
people, let's just do a list of worst owners. Number 1, Dan Snyder.
Yeah. All right, great draft. I mean,
Done.
Yeah, he's the worst owner.
Jerry Jones, too. No, you can't call him the worst owner.
I mean, I hate him,
Successful.
but he's won Super Bowls.
When he inherited the team, that wasn't really all his doing.
No, he's been a jackass the whole way through, and I'm convinced he's a scumbag. But the winning that he's done, he actually played football, right? I think he played college football at Arkansas, didn't he?
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
Was it Arkansas or Oklahoma? Yeah, it was Arkansas.
One of those places.
Yep.
But he went after it with a reckless abandon in a winning style, and our guy went after it in a reckless abandon in a dumbass style, and we know the results. The thing about Jerry is, even like when he's been like kind of a skeevy scumbag in public, like if you remember about however many years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, those pictures came out of him, and like he was totally plastered, hanging out with like 2 just absolute smoke show blondes, and his face is in their bosoms.
It was taken
and
out of
his
context.
It was totally taken out of context. Those girls were, their boobs ran into his face. He was just standing there.
They could have just run up, and their buddy could have just taken.
It was like a picture. It was like a picture
while
when you're
he's
on a roller
being
coaster.
taken off guard, and somebody said, yeah.
You don't
Jerry's
know where
lost
the
it.
camera is. That first time you go through the roller coaster, you don't know
It's
where
happened.
the camera is.
I'm just saying it's happened.
It's totally happened. What about, someone said it 2 weeks ago, and Kevin was never going to do it. Ever going to do it. And he might have fought me if I tried to put this through on a show without him. TV sitcom dads. The greatest TV sitcom dads.
That's what we're gonna do right now.
Just 2 rounds. I'll let the board have a pick, 6 total, and then this is off the cuff. Like, I know we're putting Benjamin on the spot here.
Jeez.
So I'll tell you what. If anyone on the board wants to step up and represent the board, it's 2 rounds. You got to pick the greatest, like the coolest, best, all-time, best ever TV sitcom dads. Greg Martin says 3 rounds. I'm gonna say 3. It's gonna be 3 rounds. We have plenty. There's the pool. This is a super deep pool of awesomeness. You can define great however you want, by the way. Great however you want. T, would you like? I'm going to let you pick your draft spot. There's 3 slots.
I'll take one.
You want to go 1 overall? All right. Whew. That means you get 1 of the top 5. That's fine. 2 of the top 6.
Can I refer to some things?
Can you refer to something? Don't just Google greatest sitcom dads.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I feel like that's what you're going to do.
No, I'm not going to do that.
All right. The A team got aced out of a draft. I think. I could be mistaken. A team, you're in tonight. We'll recycle because I think I think when we get to it, Greg wants back in, and I think we have a topic that he is researching probably way more than he should be for a subsequent show. All right, the A team, you get. I'm gonna get to my. Oh no, the A team has picked already. He took Altered Beast from me in the.
And you lost your shit.
Damn it! I still haven't gotten over that. All right, well, this is gonna be tough because that brings back some painful memories. I'm gonna make the A team number 2. And I'm going to go 3rd, and we're going to go 3 rounds. Sitcom dads, greatest all time. T, you're on the clock. Number 1 overall.
Number 1 overall is going to be, just because it's kind of,
Can I guess what you're going to get?
A recent.
Can I guess what you're going to say?
Go ahead and guess. No, you can't guess, because what if it's something I want in my second pick or the next?
Like everyone knows
pick.
it. I know you're picking Bob Saget.
I am picking Bob
I
Saget.
knew it. I knew it. All right. I mean,
Of course
I
I
would have.
am.
Danny,
Are you kidding me?
Tanner, Hug It Out, the original. God, a dirty stand-up comic plays a wholesome TV dad, widower, raising some kids on his own, living with Uncle Jesse, Uncle Joey, who apparently drove Carly Simon. And I'm not Carly Simon. Alanis Morissette, completely crazy.
In real life?
Yeah, Dave Coulier was the one she wrote the song about. What's the song?
Jagged Little Pill?
Well, that was the album, right? Alanis Morissette wrote. That isn't an ironic. Come on, guys, help me out. It was like one of the biggest songs of her first, thrust into stardom, and it was about Dave Coulier. Damn it! We're gonna get this. It's out there. Board's gonna solve this problem. All right, the A team picks number 2, Uncle Phil. That is
Uncle Phil's a good pick.
Winner. Of,
Wait,
so
but is he a dad?
yeah, he's Carlton's dad, and Hillary, and. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, yeah, he was Uncle Phil, but he was still a great dad. Hillary, it was You Ought to Know. AGH got it right. You Ought to Know. That was the Alanis Morissette song about Dave Coulier.
You ought to know.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. She's basically
learn
like
stuff
crazy
every
in that
night.
song.
Yeah.
And it's all because of Uncle Joey. Cut it out. All right, so I'm going back to back. But can anyone name the third kid, the daughter, the youngest? Tatiana Ali was the actress who played the youngest child of Uncle Phil. So you had Hillary, played by Karen Parsons, super hot.
Okay.
Also in Major Pain.
Yep.
She was amazingly smoking hot.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Carlton, which was an all-time great character in of itself. Youngest daughter, played by Tatiana Ali. Come on now. The A-team should have already gotten this. I put it out there in a long enough time. It's not that big of a delay. Come on. Everyone, we're talking. Yeah, thank you, Ashley. All right, so I'm gonna elevate because I get 2 picks in a row, so I get to pick who I want to give the honor of being a first-round pick to. For me, it's 2 easy ones, and just because of where I'm at right now, Randy Marsh is going for me in the first
South
round
Park?
of South Park fame. I think South Park ultimately
is wrong. He's got. Come on.
He's one of the greatest TV sitcom dads in the history of TV sitcoms, in my personal humble opinion. He's hilarious.
He's had some down.
Dude, he's a real life. He's a real
had some
person.
sketchy moments.
He's been through the ringer.
Hey, you want to put Randy Marsh up there with your dad? that's between.
Hey, my dad was a
that's between
sitcom
you
dad.
and your dad.
My dad was not a sitcom dad, but Randy Marsh is a sitcom dad, and
Okay, all right. I see where you're going with this.
so you're just gonna give him to me. I'm taking him. Homer Simpson. Bam! You just gave me two of the all-time great TV dad characters in the history of television: Randy Marsh, Homer Simpson. Bop bop bop. The A-Team. You're up.
Is it dumb of me to not think of cartoon sitcoms? Maybe.
Because the other sitcom guys are real. Those are real people.
But it depends on what you're looking at. You're just looking at a funny guy, a sitcom funny dad.
It's a character. A sitcom dad is
Does that make him a great
character.
dad? I'm talking about dad.
Dude, we're not like following this guy while he's cutting the
dads.
grass and yeah, he's a dad. Randy Marsh is a dad. He's crazy. I get you. Homer Simpson, flaws. I understand. Issues, consequences. The Secret Service. I understand all this. Oh, Randy Marsh and Homer Simpson right off the bat. And by the way, think of the category we're talking about. We're talking about TV sitcoms. Peter Griffin, by the way, just went to the A-Team. So 3 animated. Those 3 shows, The Simpsons have been on for 30 years. South Park's been on for almost 25 years, and Family Guy's been on for almost 20 years. So between those 3 shows, there's no other. I mean, Full House and Fresh Prince. None of those shows were on as long as these other shows. And all three of these shows are still airing. Currently.
Certainly not Simpsons.
Simpsons has been on for over 30 years.
I said certainly it hasn't. No, Simpsons has been longer.
South Park's been on since 98, 97.
Okay.
Call it 98. So, and the Family Guy's been on for almost 20 years. That leaves you to go back to back.
Back to back? See, so like you've thrown me off now. Because I was going with like dads. Like they were
These
good
are dads.
dads.
These are dads.
Not just funny.
It's a sitcom dad. A sitcom dad is, by definition, a character.
Sitcom dads today are a lot different than sitcom dads of the 80s.
Every single one of my sitcom dads are still on TV right this very second. And they were on in...
They are.
And Homer was on in the 80s, by the way. Homer is from the 80s.
Oh. I'll take Al Bundy.
You just made Greg Martin's life. Because there was no way.
I knew there was one that I wanted to dig.
Yep.
It just came to me. Al Bundy.
Great character.
Great football player, by the way. Great football player.
4 touchdowns. I mean, you're going back to back.
Back to back. So I'm actually going to go with my gut. And I actually went with Stephen Keaton.
Family Ties dad.
Because, dude, but at the end of the day, he always had the best advice. And he always delivered it very calmly, very confidently.
NES Tecmo.
He was a great dad.
That was his pick.
He was a great dad. He was a great dad to
played by?
That's why I was... That's
Michael Gross, I believe.
Michael Gross, yes. That's why I looked it up. That's why I had to get to the internet.
I have some crazy...
Because I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah.
But a great dad, right? Mm-hmm. Good to Alex. Good
Alex
to what was her name in the show? Melanie?
Mallory.
Mallory.
Yep.
And then the kid.
Keep coming on. Keep coming.
He was a lot like me. He had the mistake kid down the road that ended up being a great kid because he was a great dad. All right, there you go.
Famous quote. Greg Martin's giving us a famous Al Bundy quote. But rather than see your disappointed faces on Christmas morning, I'll be at the nudie bar. Those are famous words of Burt Bundy.
You're mine, Al.
All right, the A-Team, you're up. You have a... Oh, he's going James Evans, Good Times. I don't know if I'm getting the right song. I don't think I'm getting the right song. I think that was what's happening. James Evans. I think that's what's happening.
That's what's that.
Yeah, with rerun, he's doing the tune. That was my rerun tonight. I'll get it better the next time. But I mean that's what you want. All right, that was a good rerun. If you could take that video shot and interplay my Hitler's waiting in the green room line, you would have yourself one heck of a clip from tonight's show.
Woo!
All right, so last pick.
Please,
of
nobody
the draft.
mash that up. Please.
Oh, this guy made it back in at the end. Unbelievable. Naked HD XYX. We have more cheap sex than Tinder. Unbelievable. I'm just removing him as I see him. I mean, what can I do? All I can do is remove the guy. Snyder.
I'm telling you, it's something to do with the fact we don't have a delay.
It might be. I'm not going to go with Heathcliff Huxtable. I wasn't a Heathcliff Huxtable kind of guy.
He should be banned. He should not even be eligible. He's been eliminated. It doesn't.
I watched every episode of the Cosby Show on Thursday night. I watched every single episode in repeats as a kid.
As the general counsel of First Amendment Sports, that is not allowed.
But he is a TV sitcom character because he was a dad. He was like a dad, and he was like America's dad, and it was like but then he's basically did what he did, and
let's go next.
No, I'm just saying like that makes that changes. You know me, I'm a TV guy. I spent a lot of time watching the Cosby Show.
General counsel.
You got to scratch that whole party memory out.
Counsel, we got to move on.
That whole memory bank.
Nope, let's move on.
You got to go.
Nope, let's move on. General counsel says next.
But what about a different world? Does that ruin a different world? I don't think so. Dwayne Wayne, Lisa Bonet.
Was either one a dad?
No, I'm saying like does what Cosby did ruin a different world, which was a spinoff of the Cosby Show? Because it ruins the Cosby Show. It clearly ruins the Cosby Show.
Different show.
It is. Let me ask you this: does it ruin Fat Albert? See, these are the hard questions that we save for Tuesday nights. Because I'm going one more deeper into the hole. I don't think it ruins Fat Albert, but does it ruin the Brown Hornet? Whoa! The answer is no. Now we're like Inception style, like a show within a show within a show. Brown Hornet's still to this day one of my all-time favorites. Anyways, Fat Albert was great.
You've ruined the show.
I ruined Fat Albert for you?
No, the show's been ruined.
Damn it. But the Brown Hornet was great.
I
still haven't made my last pick. Because I just don't know where to go here. I don't know where to go. Do I go George Papadopoulos from Webster? I don't think I can. It came to mind.
I mean...
It came to mind. Do I go Alan Thicke?
Thought about it.
Mr. Seaver? I don't think I can. Damn it.
It's tough.
It's really tough. Who's going to be Mr. Irrelevant? There's no Mr. Irrelevant.
One of the one
here.
I looked up, Goldberg's Pops.
Yeah.
Who's also no longer with us.
Everyone Loves Raymond. The father, not
really,
Raymond.
I
but
never
the dad.
really watched that shit.
The Frankenstein.
I could not do. What's his name from Seinfeld?
Which one?
Seinfeld's dad.
Or Stiller.
Stiller. I'm sorry.
Jerry Stiller. Costanza's father.
Costanza's father.
Yeah.
That's right. Costanza's father in Seinfeld.
He invented Festivus. We actually celebrated Festivus on this show together.
He's a strong pull right there.
That's a very strong pull. I almost feel like I can't take it because you got it. But I'd say he's right there.
Me.
I know. I did ask you. Damn
the
it.
fuck?
He's gonna be waiting in the green room for another couple minutes.
I mean, you go back like our board did. Go back to the Jeffersons. Go back to Red Fox.
Or do I stick with animation?
You're gonna go all cartoon lineup, straight up.
Go. I tell you what, just because Carl Winslow and Fred Sanford, Archie Bunker. We're Mike Brady. For God's sakes, how old's our demo? I don't think
Archie's draftable either. In 2022.
I don't know. You know what? This is okay. Then let me ask you this. Let me ask the board this. Everyone knows who who that character is and was and represents,
and would never be on TV.
No, but the fact that he was, and he had the whole Sammy Davis thing on the show, and this whole fictionalized, televised, you know, evolution, if you will, of the TV sitcom Dad, which happened with Archie Bunker. Does he get like grandfathered into the conversation because he didn't Cosby it up. He didn't Cosby it.
As we're having this conversation,
yes.
You have drafted people from 2 shows that are the longest running shows that in today's day and age on social media gets crushed for just recently doing things that people can't believe have been on television.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Red Foreman's a great one. Red Foreman's great.
It's
also,
still happening.
Mr. Drummond.
Mr. Drummond, I have Mr. Drummond. I had Mr. Drummond on my short list.
Well, it might be right for you.
I had him on my short list.
He's on my short list. I'll tell you what, just because of where my head's at right now, and I'm going to go Rick and Morty. Rick, he is a grandfather to the main character, but he's also a father to his daughter on the show. So that gives me...
Your view of sitcom dads is very different from my view of sitcom dads.
It is.
But that's why we do these drafts.
It is.
It's not about what everybody else thinks.
Oh, Tony Danza.
It's about what you think.
Tony Danza
is a great one, dude. That is a great one.
Can you give me the?
This could have gone on
Can
forever.
you give him his name?
This should probably not have been
What was his name?
Impromptu.
What was his name? What was
it was in the show.
Yeah, in the show.
Tony Wheeler.
Oh wait, no.
Tony
starts with an M.
Oh shit! What was it?
Daughter.
Tony Maselli.
One of the hottest. Close. Actually, you're real close there.
Tony Maselli.
Tony Maselli.
Yes.
Daughter Sam Maselli.
Sam Maselli.
Alyssa Milano. Tony Maselli. Without a doubt. I got you, top heavy.
She was a 10. At that age, she was 10.
At that age, okay, let's take it easy.
When we were that age,
yeah, when we were, because we were that age.
At that age, she was a 10.
Dude, you're the general counsel. You're supposed to be avoiding those.
I was saying it as a 10-year-old.
Unbelievable.
As my 10-year-old self would have said, she was a 10.
Because it was really her and Nicole Eggert that were just absolutely killing it in our formative years, should I say. So you got Al Bundy. Danny Tanner obviously was quick to go. Mike Brady. Frank Costanza is off there. Mr. Seaver we mentioned.
Wait, who was my third?
Stephen Keaton.
Yes. I feel good about that. He was a good dad. Also funny. Does the A-team? I'll give you guys each one more pick if you want it. One more pick. Anyone you want. Bonus round, and I'll still go last. Carl Winslow, by the way, from the board is coming up. That's a good one. There's some good ones on the board. Some really good ones. Ones you have not said. Ones you have not said on the board.
The A-team, you're on the clock. I mean, we got some heavy hitters. Now I think the one I'm gonna go. There's actually two. Yeah, I like you got to go to your board. Walter White. I don't think he's getting picked in this draft. I just don't. I think I have one that I know is going to fall to me, and I'm going to take him right away.
Okay, I got mine.
Okay.
Mitch Buchanan.
Mitch Buchanan. Go on.
You don't know who he is?
Oh, I know who Mitch is. What made you pick him, sir?
To stay with my theme of some Baywatch choices I've made. Yeah, I think I chose it as one of my, I think, the 3 TV shows you're allowed to take with you somewhere or something like that.
Okay.
This was a great dad. He did a great job. Plus, he allowed you to run around on the beach and hang out with all those women. And also learn to be responsible and be a lifeguard.
He was also being a dad at the end of the day.
Being a dad.
The slow-mo runs across the beach, just part of being a dad.
Who wouldn't want Mitch Buchanan as their dad? Seriously.
I mean, well, I'd rather have Randy Marsh personally, but that's just me. You know the kind of shenanigans that would happen if Randy Marsh was my dad?
I think I just want to say Baywatch again. I don't know why.
Yes, absolutely. All right, the A team. Yeah, Carl Winslow off the board. I think just his patience, obviously with Urkel, but I think more so than anything else was the way he was able to deal with John McClane in Die Hard, and because that was clearly Carl Winslow in that movie. He was uncredited, but Carl Winslow played Al, the cop in Die Hard that John McClane was talking to on the ground. Everyone knows that. All right, so I'm picking last again.
I was gonna. No, keep going.
I'm gonna go. It's between 2 people. Since I'm going last, and this is the last, I was picking between 2 people. Phil Dunphy from Modern Family, which is way up there for me.
That's a solid choice.
Yeah, who is just
Very
awesome
solid choice.
And I think people were saying Tony Soprano.
Nah, that's not really sitcom.
Kind of not there with you in terms of.
Fits the.
It's not a sitcom dad. I mean, he's a TV dad.
He's a TV dad.
But is not getting it done, I think, in terms of. And so for me, it was.
See, I'm going to go Wilford Brimley on you. When you said sitcom, I mean, they're sitcoms.
Well, we kind of said sitcom, but TV dads. But I think.
But when I think sitcom, when I think of my dad, the dads of my sitcom era, I'm thinking of Henry Rush, Ted Knight, Too Close for Comfort.
Dude, that's not your. Dude, you were watching that on reruns. You weren't watching that live. Come on, dude.
It wasn't live,
we're the same age, and
that's how I grew up. I grew up on it, though. I grew up on the reruns.
I don't know. The 2 daughters were super hot. It was amazing. Ted Knight, the 2 Close for Comfort daughters were just smoke shows.
They were.
I get it. Ron Swanson.
Skip was hilarious.
Skip was hilarious. Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. He's just one of the all-time greatest characters. He happened to become a stepdad. It's going to be a real question of, does that qualify him for this conversation? I am...
Alf's dad from Alf. He was a great dad.
Alf.
He wasn't his real dad, but he essentially became his dad.
I wasn't an Alf guy.
You didn't watch Alf?
I watched Alf. Of course I watched it. I just wasn't an Alf guy.
Great.
I'm going Ron Swanson. The ability to pick Ron Swanson. Phil Dunphy is great, but Ron Swanson is the greatest. And this guy's still getting through. You know what? We're gonna have to do some reporting.
Report him to
Oh, you know what? They changed
YouTube.
their. I think Greg has it right. They changed their name, so their name in YouTube is the message.
He's giving you the reach around.
I'm telling you, dude. It took me an hour to figure that out.
He's trucking you and reaching around you every time you try to stop him.
And he's just dropping crazy.
It's a molestation I've never seen before in my life. It's crazy. It's gross. It's weird, and it's happening right before our eyes.
If you can't drop an F-bomb in the comment section, how can you have the F-bomb in your name? That's crazy. That is some next level Jedi YouTubing that I don't know. I mean, I can't compete with that. Can't compete with that. All right, Ron Swanson went last overall. We're coming back next week, but in 2 weeks
one more.
with Kevin Ricca. Benjamin's going to take a back seat once again. Gomez Adams, pretty darn good. I'm like the Adams family is growing on me. I think the next
Red
remake,
Foreman
was the board said Red Foreman.
Okay.
He was awesome. But you know what? You watched Dead Post Society, right? He was the evil dad in Dead Post Society.
He was the bad guy in RoboCop.
And he was the bad guy in RoboCop. So that to me made Red Foreman even that much of a better dad.
That's the first time I saw him and recognized him.
because it freaked me
From
out.
RoboCop.
The RoboCop character, but also the bad dad character in Dead Post Society made me really like feared him. All right, hey everybody, happy Terry McLaurin Day. It's been a great day to be a Commanders fan. Off next Tuesday night, back in 2 weeks. Ricka back in the saddle. Until then, he's Tim Strachan.
Yep. Terry, welcome back, dude. Great to have you. Benjamin, it's been real, dude, but we're going to put you in the corner again. It's going to be sad to not see you guys or talk to you guys next week, but happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. Can't wait till everybody's again in 2 weeks.
We are so happy that you guys hung out with us all night long. If you haven't done it already, be a subscriber. It's easy. It's free. Hit us up with a like if you like what we're doing. Hit the bell, let you know when we're live and in action, usually between 8:30 and 9 on Tuesday nights, and then randomly other times. Until 2 weeks from now, have fun. Be safe. Happy birthday, America.
Later.
We're still live.
Cheers, Benjamin. Great show.